I used to believe that distance made the heart grow fonder. I used to believe a lot of things. When I deployed overseas for my third tour, I kissed my wife, Lily, goodbye at the airport, promised her I'd write whenever I could, and boarded the plane with a heavy but hopeful heart. She hugged me tightly, whispered, "I'll be waiting," into my ear, and pressed a lucky charm into my hand. A tiny silver compass that used to hang from her grandmother's keychain. I tucked it into my uniform pocket, believing that no matter how long the war kept me away, I'd eventually find my way back to her. Back to us. But sometimes you return home only to realize there's nothing left waiting. It was halfway through my deployment, somewhere between sleepless nights and the thick heat of the desert, that her email arrived. No greeting, no explanation. Just cold, clinical lines on a glowing screen. "This marriage is over. I've filed for divorce. Don't contact me. It's better this way." At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe she'd been hacked. Maybe she was angry over something I hadn't even known I'd done. I stared at the email for a full hour before it sank in. And then came the second hit. A notification from my bank. Our joint account. The savings we'd built over 7 years, every bonus check I'd sent home, every deployment hardship pay, had been drained to zero. There wasn't a mistake. There wasn't an apology. There was just an empty account and a woman I thought I knew, turning into a stranger right before my eyes. Before we dive deeper into this story, if you believe loyalty should be sacred, especially when someone sacrifices everything for their family, take a second to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and helps more stories like this find people who need them. Now, back to that moment in the desert, with nothing but sand, silence, and betrayal for company. It took 3 days for the full picture to emerge. One of my buddies back home, Tyler, who had promised to keep an eye on Lily while I was gone, called me through a scratchy satellite connection. "Man, I didn't want to tell you like this," he said, voice tight with guilt. "But you need to know. There's someone else living in your house. A guy. Well, they're acting like a couple." The compass in my pocket suddenly felt like a lead weight. I gripped it so hard my knuckles turned white. I wanted to scream. I wanted to rage, but I didn't. Instead, I swallowed all that fury and said the 2 words I would live by from that day on. I understand. Because what Lily didn't know, not yet, was that I had quietly prepared for the worst long before the first deployment. I knew the military life was tough on marriages. I'd seen too many friends come home to strangers. So I'd made certain decisions. Financial ones, legal ones, with a small, stubborn part of me that refused to be naive. And now, sitting under a battered canvas tent halfway across the world, I began to realize she thought she had taken everything from me. She thought she had won. But she hadn't even scratched the surface of what was truly mine. And by the time she realized what I had done, it would already be too late. The first thing Lily didn't know was about the house. Our cozy 3-bedroom in the suburbs, with its white picket fence and the cherry tree I planted the day we moved in. It wasn't in our joint names like she thought. It never had been. Right before my first deployment, a mentor in the Army, a grizzled sergeant who'd survived 2 nasty divorces, gave me advice I never forgot. Protect your home. You can rebuild anything else, but if you lose your foundation, you lose yourself. On his recommendation, I'd bought the house solely under my name. Lily signed a lease agreement, not a deed. It was a formality at the time. We were young, in love, and I believed we'd build forever together. But now that little decision was about to save me. I emailed my lawyer from a military internet station the next day. Short and simple. Activate the protection plan. She thinks she owns the house. Eviction notice as soon as legally possible. It would take a few weeks, but the gears of the system were already grinding. Meanwhile, Lily, blissfully unaware, was redecorating, posting selfies with her new boyfriend on our couch, tagging herself at my house like she owned the place. She wasn't just reckless. She was arrogant, and arrogance makes people sloppy. Tyler, bless him, started sending me screenshots, posts, comments, photos. The new guy, Brad, apparently, had moved into his new home. He even uploaded a cringeworthy New Beginnings post, showing off my backyard like he had worked for it. I kept every screenshot, every receipt, every digital footprint. There's something cold and empowering about gathering evidence while pretending to be broken. I wasn't broken. I was building a bonfire. And soon enough, it would burn every lie they told to the ground. By the time my deployment ended 4 months later, I stepped off the plane not as a heartbroken man, but as someone carrying a quiet, nuclear kind of resolve. I didn't call her. I didn't announce my return. I simply went straight to the house. She wasn't expecting me. The front yard looked different. Plastic flamingos on the lawn, cheap wind chimes on the porch. Inside, through the window, I could see Brad sprawled on my recliner, playing video games, a half-eaten pizza box on the coffee table. I didn't knock. I didn't storm inside. I walked calmly to the mailbox, because that's where the first piece of the plan waited. Inside was a crisp, official-looking envelope addressed to current occupants. The eviction notice. Final. Non-negotiable. Backed by every legal mechanism available. You could almost hear the satisfying click of a trap closing. When I entered the house, my house, I did it with the sheriff at my side. Standard procedure for enforcing eviction in our state. No drama. No confrontation. Just cold, professional efficiency. Lily was in the kitchen when she heard the knock. She opened the door, saw me. Uniform still crisp from the base, boots planted firmly on the porch, and for a split second, her face lit up. Old habits die hard. Then she saw the sheriff. Then she saw the paper. Her smile crumbled. "You can't do this!" she hissed, glancing behind her at Brad, who was now awkwardly hovering by the stairs, a controller still clutched in one hand like an idiot. "I already did," I said simply, handing her the notice. The sheriff spoke up, professional but firm. "You have 30 days to vacate the premises. Refusal will result in forcible removal and potential legal action." Lily's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. Brad muttered something about calling a lawyer. I didn't even look at them. Instead, I stepped inside, walked past them, and headed upstairs, toward the one room Lily hadn't dared to touch. My study. Everything else she had redecorated. Our wedding photos tossed out, my books boxed away. But not this room. I stepped inside, closed the door behind me, and breathed. Because on the top shelf of the locked cabinet, behind dusty photo albums and old deployment certificates, was the second thing she didn't know. My backup account. The account that held every last penny I ever really trusted to survive on. Separate. Secure. Untouchable. She thought she'd left me with nothing. She was wrong. Very, very wrong. Would you stay quiet in a betrayal like this? Or would you plan your revenge carefully? If you're loving this story so far, hit that subscribe button. It's free, and it helps support more powerful stories like this reaching you. Now, back to what happened after the eviction notice. Because Lily's worst nightmare hadn't even started yet. And when it did, it hit harder than she could ever imagine. In the weeks that followed, Lily's panic grew louder. First came the desperate texts. At first they were sweet, almost nostalgic. "Please, can we just talk? We made mistakes, but we can fix this. Remember the cherry tree? You said it would grow old with us." I didn't reply. Then came the angry ones. "You're being heartless. After everything we shared, you're throwing it away? I'll tell everyone you abandoned me while you were overseas. Everyone will believe me." Still. Silence. There's a unique power in refusing to engage, letting someone swing at shadows, exhausting themselves trying to hurt you, while you quietly build something better. Meanwhile, the sheriff's department served her with an official notice regarding unauthorized occupancy. The utilities, which were all in my name, began shutting off one by one. No more electricity, no more water. No more cozy nights cuddled on the couch Brad didn't pay for. Lily began to realize she hadn't just lost her meal ticket. She had set fire to the bridge behind her with no way back. And as the eviction date approached, the desperation turned into pure venom. I got a voicemail one night, her voice cracking with fury. "You're a monster. You think you're so clever, but karma's real. You'll get what's coming to you. The irony almost made me laugh. Because karma, darling, was already knocking at her door, and I was holding it wide open. The day the eviction became final, I stood in the driveway as Lily loaded garbage bags of clothes into the back seat of a beat-up sedan. No Brad in sight. Apparently, he hadn't signed up for homeless and broke when he started sleeping in another man's bed. Lily caught my eye once, a flash of hatred mixed with something else. Regret, maybe. Fear. But she said nothing. And neither did I. The sheriff nodded at me respectfully before handing her the last paper. "Good luck, ma'am," he said curtly. And just like that, she drove off. No dramatic last words. No slamming doors. Just the whimper of an engine and the trail of a life she had set on fire herself. I thought it would feel triumphant, maybe even satisfying. But standing there, watching her taillights disappear, all I felt was freedom. Not revenge. Not victory. Just the clean, liberating sense that the past no longer held any claim over me. I was done playing defense. It was time to build something new. But Lily wasn't done. Not yet. 3 weeks later, I received notice that she was suing me for spousal support, claiming she had been dependent on me for her lifestyle and that I owed her compensation for abandoning her during deployment. The audacity was almost impressive. She wanted half the assets, the house, the money, everything she thought still existed. She had no idea that the house was protected, that the joint account was empty, thanks to her own greed, that the missing money had never really been missing at all. It had simply never been in her reach. I handed everything to my lawyer, a shark of a woman named Jennifer, who smelled blood in the water from miles away. "Don't worry," she said after our first meeting. "We'll make sure she walks away with exactly what she deserves. Nothing." We countersued. Fraud. Theft. Unauthorized use of marital assets. Jennifer built the case meticulously. Timeline, receipts, social media posts, witness statements. Brad's little New Beginnings posts turned out to be some of the best evidence. It wasn't just that Lily had tried to take everything. It was that she had done it so publicly, so arrogantly, that unraveling her lies became almost too easy. At the court hearing, Lily showed up wearing designer sunglasses, trying to play the wronged woman. But no amount of crocodile tears could erase the paper trail. The judge wasn't impressed. Not by her sob story. Not by her carefully applied makeup. What did impress him were the facts. The unshakable, brutal facts. When Jennifer presented the evidence, it was like watching a slow, methodical demolition of a house built on lies. Brick by brick. Screenshot by screenshot. The judge's frown deepened with every page. And then came the final blow. Jennifer pulled out a copy of the lease agreement Lily had signed years ago. The one that proved she was never an owner, only a tenant. "Your Honor," she said, voice smooth as velvet. "This document clearly establishes that the plaintiff had no legal claim to the property she occupied. Furthermore, her unauthorized use of joint assets after abandonment of the marital relationship constitutes fraud." Lily's face turned a shade of red I didn't know was possible. Brad didn't even show up. I guess loyalty wasn't part of their new beginning. In the end, the judgment was swift and merciless. No spousal support, no share of the house, full reimbursement for the portion of the drained account, and a court order to cover my legal fees. The judge's final words to her echoed in the silent courtroom. "Actions have consequences, ma'am, especially when you betray the very person you vowed to stand beside." When we walked out of that courthouse, Jennifer clapped me on the back. "You're officially free, soldier," she said with a grin. And for the first time in over a year, I believed it. Would you have fought back like I did, or walked away in silence? If you're feeling the satisfaction of justice served, smash that like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss how this story truly ends, because Lily's downfall? It wasn't over yet. Not even close. Freedom felt strange at first. After the court case, after the dust finally settled, I found myself sitting alone at a coffee shop downtown, a battered paperback in one hand, a cappuccino in the other, and realizing, for the first time in years, that I could breathe without permission. No more tiptoeing around moods. No more walking on eggshells. No more pretending everything was fine when the cracks had been spiderwebbing for years. I was free. I sold the house 2 months later, cherry tree and all. I thought it would hurt, but as I watched the moving truck drive away, all I felt was relief. The memories tied to those walls weren't mine anymore. They belonged to another version of me, a man who once mistook loyalty for chains. I rented a small condo overlooking the river. Minimalist, bright, clean. A place that smelled like fresh paint and new beginnings. In the evenings, I sat on the balcony with a cold drink in hand, watching the sun set over the water, and thought about all the battles I had survived. War zones, broken promises, betrayal on a battlefield much closer to home. And somehow, through it all, I was still standing. Still here. Still me. Meanwhile, Lily's life unraveled. Word got around quickly. You can't burn bridges without someone eventually noticing the smoke. It turned out Brad had a colorful history. Unpaid debts, a DUI, a string of short-term girlfriends who all left warning signs like flares in the dark. Once the money ran out, once the free house, free utilities, and free lifestyle evaporated, Brad evaporated too. Rumor had it he packed up and left town with another woman barely 2 weeks after the eviction. Lily tried to maintain appearances at first. Social media filters, motivational quotes, carefully staged selfies in coffee shops she could barely afford. But reality has a nasty habit of seeping through the cracks. Friends drifted away, family grew silent. Nobody likes standing too close to a sinking ship. The last I heard, she was renting a tiny studio apartment on the edge of town. The kind of place where the plumbing wheezes when you turn on the tap, and the neighbors play loud music at 3 a.m. She had a part-time job at a diner, waiting tables for tips. A far cry from the luxury lifestyle she had once flaunted at my expense. I never reached out. Not once. She had made her choices, and life had answered. But as much as I could have smiled at her downfall, I didn't. Because real victory isn't about watching someone else fall. It's about watching yourself rise. I enrolled in night classes at the university nearby, something I'd always wanted to do but never had the time or freedom for. Started studying engineering, fueled by the same discipline that got me through deployments and betrayals alike. I even adopted a dog from a shelter, a scruffy German Shepherd mix with one ear that wouldn't stand up straight. I named him Lucky. Because sometimes, survival isn't luck at all. It's the stubborn refusal to quit when everything around you says you should. One rainy evening, maybe 6 months after the court case, I found myself walking Lucky through the park when I saw her. Lily. She was sitting alone on a bench, clutching a tattered umbrella, her makeup smudged, her clothes damp and tired-looking. For a moment, our eyes met. I wondered what she saw when she looked at me now. Not the desperate husband who had begged for scraps of affection. Not the naive soldier who had believed promises whispered in the dark. But a man who had rebuilt himself brick by brick, stronger, wiser, unbreakable. I gave a small nod, polite but distant, and kept walking. Lucky trotted beside me, tail wagging, completely unaware of the ghosts we were leaving behind. I never looked back. Not once. If you've ever been betrayed, if you've ever been underestimated, left for dead, or written off, remember this. You are not defined by what someone else did to you. You are defined by what you do next. Rebuild. Rise. Refuse to stay broken. Because sometimes, the greatest revenge isn't revenge at all. It's a life so well lived, it leaves your betrayers speechless. If you found strength in this story, if you believe in rebuilding and rising stronger, hit that subscribe button. Your support helps more stories of resilience and triumph find the people who need them most. And remember, when the world breaks you down, rebuild. Diamond hard. Diamond bright.